Another one of the things that we look at in Crimes of the Educators is how Marxist ideas, and by Marxist ideas I really mean Marxist ideas, Soviet ideas, have completely infiltrated the American classroom today. And again, that's one of those things that sounds wild unless you've looked at the evidence, because we're not supposed to know these things. But if you look just to start with at John Dewey, he's often called the godfather of modern day government education in the United States. He went over to the Soviet Union. He wanted to study their school system because he wanted to produce little collectivists, little atheists coming out of the American school. So he went over to the Soviet Union to see how things were done over there. He actually helped them a little bit. He helped Lenin and company design the school system to produce little collectivists and little atheists. So it has its genesis with John Dewey. But since then, a lot of these Soviet quack educators and psychologists and their ideas have really become part of the foundation of government education. You can look at Vygotsky, for example. He was a psychologist and a quack who wanted to turn children into the new Soviet man, he called it. These people who would exist for the good of the collective and all this kind of stuff, and would want nothing more than the good of collective, would sacrifice the self for the good of collective. And this guy is taught in education colleges across the Western world today as if this was reasonable. So this is a very dangerous trend. I mean, even if you look at Pavlov, for example, Pavlov's experiments with the dogs, even this kind of ideology has seeped into our schools. Children nowadays are seen by the education establishment as kind of animals, biological stimulus response mechanisms that are going to be trained with these Skinnerian methods. B.F. Skinner was another kind of proponent of this, of the human as an animal that could be trained, like a circus animal, with rewards and punishments. And Pavlov came up with a lot of the ideas that are really fundamental in the way children are educated, or miseducated, we should call it, in the government schools today. So it's a big problem, and it needs to be exposed, because I think the American people, if they understood what was happening with these, not just Marxist ideas, but Marxist philosophies underpinning the pedagogy of the education, they would be outraged. There would be pitchforks and torches at City Hall, because this is really serious stuff, and I think the rabbit hole goes very deep, and I encourage everybody to take a look, because it's troubling.